I have 2 guns, one for each of you.
Hello again, this is Doug Cooper with Arm the Populace, and what an amazing opportunity that we just had. We're going to be showing you footage from it, but in conjunction with members that are coming up for City Council, Jeff Pastor, sponsored by Urban Orchards and Damon Lynch, we did the largest concealed carry class in Ohio history, and it ranks nationally. That's amazing? No. What's really amazing, it was funded by Damon Lynch and Jeff Pastor, and that one was free to the public. We had over 100 people out there that were able to take responsibility for their self-preservation, from little old ladies to 22-year-olds, up and down the spectrum. Arm the Populace had a chance to bring in a lot of our resources that we don't get a chance to use on smaller classes. We had our range safety officers there. We had a 20-year veteran of the police force still active who volunteered his time to come there to do basic handgun fundamentals. It was amazing to watch the community come together. As always, I've got my brother Charlie with me. Also Rod Bennett of Tremendous Beats. He's also one of our producers with ATP Productions, and one of our range safety officers. So what did you all think about that day?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, it was great to have that many people come through the class, and for them to also experience the, first of all, the feel of empowerment after the fact of getting their CCW. All these people didn't even expect that it was going to be free at that. Right. So they really got a bonus on top of that. So it was good to have the numbers come through.
You oversaw a lot of the actual shooting and qualifying. How'd they shoot?
Well, there were a lot of people that did an excellent job with shooting. There were a lot of people that were experienced, but then there are people that needed 5 minutes of little help, but then they got it. They got it. And
first time shooters happens.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's one of the things that, especially with larger classes, but in any concealed carry class, you have to go up and down the spectrum, and you have to teach to the person. So we are actually geared towards the person who, for their entire life, have never even seen a real gun, mm-hmm. have no idea how to hold it, grip it, how to check to see if it's loaded, because they don't come in with bad habits. So therefore, we show them the right way in the beginning, and therefore, then it just grows. Charlie, you actually did a lot of the basic instruction. You taught kind of the USCCA platform about getting people aware of taking those next steps. Besides concealed carry, defensive living, how was that received to people who maybe have never thought about the awful things that can happen?
Well, when it came across me asking a lot of folks, especially, person to person, because with this class, there was a lot of people there, so I had a lot more time to be able to kind of talk one-on-one with some people. But even as a class, I asked, okay, defensive living, what is it? A lot of people think, barbed wires on the fence and doping pictures out in the front yard. Nah, it's nothing like that. It's not that advanced. You got a smoke detector, you got a fire extinguisher. Those are made to basically make sure that no random fires pop out, and when it does, you'll be on the right track to stop it, right? Doesn't need any type of training or anything like that to use a fire extinguisher. Smoke alarm goes off, hey, there could be a fire. There's smoke in the air. Or we have some of those other ones that the moment you have a nice hot shower, it just goes off. But a lot of folks kind of wasn't prepared for the whole, What if somebody kicks open that door when you're Netflixing and just chilling out on the couch enjoying your day? A lot of people usually have that moment when they were thinking to themselves, it can never happen to me.
Wait, we learned a new term because you were going through the color codes of awareness: white, orange, yellow, red. What did we learn?
New one is now condition white, condition mellow yellow. I like that one.
And what is mellow yellow?
Mellow yellow means you're aware of your surroundings. You're not, let's say, for instance, concerned. You're not going out there with your gun drawn, ready to shoot, Willie or anybody else looking at you a little crazy. Hey, picked up that quarter a little too fast. You're aware. If you're a jogger, you're jogging down the street, earbuds in, you're not oblivious. There's a couple walking up the street, on your side of the street. There's kids crossing the street a little further up during a crosswalk. You see these things. You know these things. You're familiar. You're aware.
But now I'm home. My door's locked. I've got my chicken wings and my
and
Netflix.
You slip back into that condition white.
But I have a gun next to me on the couch because I know how life really is.
Man, that's
mellow yellow.
That's mellow yellow to me.
That is mellow yellow. I got my Coke, I got my wings, I got my cigarettes, and I got my gun. So I can't go completely condition white, but I can stay in mellow yellow. That was just a part of what all we learned that day. It was so cool to see so many people from so many walks of life come together under the simple banner of, at the end of the day, we want to go home to our families, our friends, our dinners, our Netflix without being raped, beaten, robbed, or killed. Rob, anything that you want to add?
Well, pertaining to the class, it was good to experience. Well, to have a lot of the women come through. There were a lot of women in the class. A lot more women than it was guys, for real. And the women seemed to get it. They understood that, it's about awareness. It's about protecting yourself and keeping yourself ready for all situations. One thing I always stress is keep your head up, look around, keep your head on a swivel, pay attention to your surrounding because, that you never know who's thinking criminal-like around you.
All too true.
Yeah.
I agree.
And what an amazing chance it was to help these people, and we can't wait to help more. Just wait till you see what's coming next. But for now, we've got footage of the day. Don't take our word for it. Let's take a look together. This is the largest concealed carry class in Ohio history. We're heading out right now to New Prospect Baptist Church. Here with the one and only Charlie Griffin, USCCA instructor. How you doing? Mr. Lynch, putting it on today.
Hey.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Sean Thomas.
Hi, Sean. How are you?
I'm all right.
So tell me why you're here today.
Oh, I'm here to take the class and get my concealed carry license. Reason being, I just want to be feeling safe anywhere in the United States. Pretty much I know that Ohio CCWs are valued in a lot of different states. So it's a safety thing for me. Just want to be safe and take care of my family in case something happens.
Are guns something you've been around all your life?
Yes and no. I have been around guns as far as rifles. I was a Boy Scout, so I did shotgunning, and I was around BB guns, things of that nature. But handguns, things of that nature, I didn't get around to until I was in my late 20s.
Okay. And do you have an idea of what the class is going to entail today, or is this just a...
I don't, but I'm open for all information. I'm really waiting to see what I can get my hands on because I'm really open to just general information about the law. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Wait,
Good morning, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
Very well. What's your name, sir?
My name is Mark Lane, L-A-N-E.
Hello. So what brought you here today?
Well, to get to carry a concealed weapon. And one of the reasons why I'm here is First is so that I can be able to carry a weapon and to be safe at just, at my cars and even at home. As the way as crime is today, I just want to be prepared just for the uncertainty. That's one reason I'm here. And to learn more about, how a weapon and what the laws are. That's the main reason I'm here for, to know what the law is.
Okay, fair enough. Do you have a particular incident in your past or something that you feel like brought you to the decision that you want to feel like you could be armed all the time?
No, nothing. I've never encountered anything like that. But what I do is I don't want that to happen. So it's almost like to just be something I don't want it to happen to me in the future.
Be prepared.
I just want to be prepared. I'm like an old Boy Scout. I always be prepared. So I'm open-minded, and I'm really I'm eager to really learn to see what the class entails.
Okay. Thank you. Hello. What's your name?
Dan Thomas.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I'm wondering, as a lady, why are you here?
For me, definitely it's a little empowerment. So I've never held a gun. I've never done anything like this. But when I saw the opportunity, I said, why not? Definitely empowerment. As a woman, they don't feel like we can protect ourselves. We can handle our own. But God forbid something happens, I want to be able to protect myself and not crying for someone to come and do it for me, I guess.
That's very cool. So if you've never really been around guns or you've never handled them, what is your perception with other women and guns?
I've always been around guns. I'm from a military family, dad, siblings. So we've had guns in the house. My family carries guns. They have their CCWs. So I'm not scared of it, and I don't think anybody should. So as long as you are educating yourself by going to classes like this and doing it the safe way, I don't see anything wrong with men, women, even children if you educate them correctly to handle a gun. So.
Do you ever feel like you've been in a situation where you wish you would have had it just to make you feel better, or you've always felt comfortable because it's been sort of a way of life for you?
I've always been comfortable because it's been a way of life. So I don't feel uncomfortable typically if I'm with my family, even though I don't have one. I know my brother does. He's educated himself. He's got his CCWs, and it's his right to carry it. So I've been around people that had it, and I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I didn't feel safe. But I think this is just an extra step. So for where I go, and I'm a woman, I'm single, I live alone. Sometimes I come home at 2:30 in the morning, So I think it's just an extra step, but thankfully I've never felt unsafe.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning. I'm Kelly Green.
Hi, Kelly. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
So what brought you here today?
I'm here to get the carry and conceal. I just feel like with the things that's going on lately, the crime, and just for protection, just something to feel safe, and know that I can protect myself if I ever needed to.
Do you feel like you've been in situations before where you could have used it to get out of the situation?
No, I've never been in a situation where I would need one. Just kind of preparing myself in case I ever did, ever was put into a situation or around one. I have never been, but with the way things are, it's kind of scary. Just don't know what to expect.
Do you have children or other people in your house that you feel like it would be helpful to protect, or?
Yes, the area that I live in is kind of one of the reasons, there's a lot of crime kind of like around near it, I just don't ever want to be involved with anything. I don't have children or anything, but just kind of for, me and my household.
Fair enough. Do you know what to expect from the class, or is this a brand new experience?
This is a brand new experience for me. I'm thinking they're just going to tell us the laws, where you can use it at, how to carry it, what situations you will, just what we are allowed to do or we're not, able to do.
Okay. Do you think you have ever been somewhere? I mean, in this situation, I'm sure you know there are several people who are already carrying. But do you think you've ever been anywhere where you know or you suspect somebody is?
What, carrying?
Yeah.
I've been around people who just carry, you know,
Just in
yeah,
general.
just cause. I mean, I've been to a barbecue gathering and I've seen people with them. I don't know. I mean, I guess some people feel like, well, you know, maybe I can take it everywhere. You know, you just never know what happens. I don't think that'll be me. Type of person just carry it around every single where I go. But maybe put it in a car or, you know, just because like the other lady was saying here, you know, sometimes I come home late at night and it's dark, you just don't know where it's around, or you're in areas where, you know, anything can happen. Like I said, the neighborhood that I live close to, you know, it's a lot of situations that happened before, so I don't think I'll carry it on, you know, every single day, everywhere I go, but I think it's something good for me to have.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Jeff Pastor, candidate for Cincinnati City Council, and I'm here for the class.
Why are you here for the class? What brought you here?
I think it's important. I'm a proud Second Amendment supporter. I believe that it's necessary for citizens who desire to arm themselves, protect themselves and their families, to do so the legal way. I'm a former CCW holder, but my license expired. And I believe, particularly for African Americans, that is important because there's such a negative stigma associated with gun ownership. So this is important for me for those reasons.
And I understand that you sponsored this event.
Yes, I did.
What are the reasons that helped you actually motivate and get this together for your community?
A vast majority of the African American population, again, are either afraid of guns, have a misunderstanding about gun laws, and that sort of thing. And I wanted to kind of break the mold. I wanted, you know, folks to be able to come here, learn about gun safety, learn about the proper use, you know, the proper carry of guns and that sort of thing, and let them know that you can do all this the legal way. And I'm encouraging everyone, all 150,000 people who are legally able to carry guns, to keep coming out, taking this course, because it's important. It's extraordinarily important, not just African Americans, but the entire community. For those who are afraid of guns and think guns should be off the streets and that sort of thing, I want this class to be for them, so they can understand that this is not, you know, some sort of wild, wild west, you know, everybody get a gun, go out, you know, and let's cause some sort of, you know, anarchy, chaos. You know, this is important for them to know that this is your constitutional right.
Okay. Do you have any words of advice for anyone that might be on the fence or who might be a little bit scared? What would you say, just talking friend to friend to someone?
Well, I would tell them that this is why you should come out to a course, a CCW course, so we can kind of demystify, you know, what it means to carry your gun. You know, when I first got my CCWs, I know some members of my family were afraid. Say, "Oh, you're bringing trouble to yourself," and that sort of thing. It's like, no, guns don't bring trouble. You know, it's the person behind the gun that either causes trouble or, you know, potentially cause trouble or it can be peaceful and that sort of thing. So I would tell them, like, this is why you need courses like that, because there are so many fears out there. And we know fears are false evidence appearing real. Jeff Pastor, running for City Council.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. You know me, Doug Cooper, Arm the Populace, here with Jeff Pastor, running for City Council. You need to get this man in office. Always my brother Charlie with me. And we're here today at New Prospect Baptist Church. We're helping some people take responsibility and ownership for their self-preservation. I want to give a big shout out to this man for his vision and really helping the community, because ultimately crime prevention is a concealed carry permit. Police come after the fact. You got to do something to keep yourself alive until the police get there. Charlie?
For those who can't get a hold of us, especially for like the weekends and stuff, I know Jeff is a busy man. If he needed to take a class, or other people, I'm actually another instructor, which I help out and do weekday private classes. So if you all can't do the weekends, come see me. Get in touch with me.
We're here for you.
We're all on the same page, trying to make a positive change.
Let's go on inside and see some more inside.
I got a great relationship with Doug, and I convinced him. It took like 6 months, but I convinced him, let's do a free class. So I put the free class up on the internet, and 200 people signed up in 12 hours. You guys signed up 12 hours. filled it all the way up. So I don't really know who anybody is. So my name is Damon Winterford. This is New Prospect, but this is also the Summit Center. So today we also have the grand opening of our gym going on. You'll be able to see that. For you in the back, we'll have a full concession stand, food and drinks and beverages, and we'll also have a concession stand over there. So there'll be a lot going on. But you guys, the people that show up, we're providing the first free CCW class I've ever heard of. A little bit later, because you know this is a church, we will be passing around a bucket for donations. You know, give as freely as you can. Because we have some expenses, but we're covering. And we appreciate it. But so let's introduce ourselves. My name is Damon. Show me your name.
Let's give a round of applause for the man who put all this together. It was me. It was him.
Yeah, you do. I'm Jeff Pastor, running for Cincinnati City Council, and I just wanted to tell you all, if you like me, it's probably a lot of talking going on, but you all are fortunate, number one, because the course is free, but number two, when I took the course, it was 12 hours long. I mean, just 12 hours, and some of you may be sitting there and wondering why, according to Ohio State law, and he'll go over it, you have to have mandatory aid with 2 hours of gun firing and that sort of thing. So it's going to be a long day. I think they already went over the housekeeping notes, but I just wanted to say thank you. And I also wanted to talk about, from my perspective, why it's important for predominantly African-American communities to have CCWs. Number one, we're all hypersensitive to racism. And what I experienced growing up is that African-American, particularly a poor or lower middle income African-American with a gun, is somehow seen as a threat. And I never understood that. And that really enraged me, because I'm saying that, I remember having my gun, which I don't know, I want to speak for everybody. I think if you have it open, anybody can carry open concealed. Talking about it. And the police was called on me in Xenia. I went to Central State University. And it was, they have some sort of caveat in the law that says where people feel like you're a threat, inducing panic and that sort of thing. And that really angered me, because it's like, well, I don't think that I am seen as a threat because I'm African American with a gun. And those stereotypes are perpetuated in our communities, where folks, when we started this course, like, oh my God, here he is, he wants to put more guns on the street. I think to myself, like, a person taking a CCW course, number one, is less likely to be a violent offender. Less likely to be a violent offender. And number two, if I wanted to commit a crime, I'm not going to take a CCW course to be, and this is the mindset. And I think that this course, for me, is the path forward. A lot of people don't understand that 1871, just a little history lesson. In 1871, during Reconstruction, when they pulled the federal troops out of the South, and nobody likes me to go there, it was the nascent organization, National Rifle Association, that armed African Americans to fight against the damn excuse my language, still the church, to fight against the darn Ku Klux Klan. And a lot of people don't know that. Now, no commentary on the current NRA and the crazy video that they had out. I'm not even going there, because that was just crazy. But the reality is that this was the mindset. Now, some of us have families that come from the South. My family from South Carolina, a lot of us, originated from slave families and sort of thing. It was common for my grandmother to have 2 pistols, to threaten to shoot my grandpa on several occasions. But it was a fact of life for us, and they stayed up in Hazelwood. Probably don't know where Hazelwood, but it's where the Coca-Cola plant is located nowadays on Red Bank Road. And so that was the land we had. So it was farm, they would hunt rabbits and all those other things. So guns for us was a fact of life. I never feared guns and that sort of thing. But in our communities, I think to a larger degree, we have been brainwashed to believe that the guns are bad. And I say, no, it's the people carrying the guns that could potentially be bad, right? And growing up and watching my mother, my stepdad was addicted to crack cocaine, and he beat her for several years, and then he got out clean, and then, and that sort of thing. What would have happened if she would have had her pistol? One time he put her in the hospital, right? And, somebody recently stole, not recently, but a couple years ago, stole my mother's copper out of her house. She lives in Carthage. Then they stole my aunt's whole HVAC unit and that sort of thing. And my mom is married, but my aunt is a divorcee, lives by herself, pretty, with 2 pretty girls, and my cousins and that sort of thing. And by the time you call the police, the damage to your property is already done. And it's gonna cost the homeowner $3,000-4,000 to get their stuff fixed, where, you know, if they know that there's a threat for you to protect, or if they know that they're threatening and you're gonna protect yourselves and that sort of thing, it kind of stops that riffraff, right? And particularly to my African American sisters, you know what I mean, and who are on college campuses and going those things, that's near and dear to me. Watching my mother go through that, you know, and so recently somebody threatened to kill my sister. It was her baby daddy, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But you know, he was mad or whatever. But the Christians, these are nice Pentecostal Christians. Now they ain't Baptists. You know what they used to say about Baptist folks? You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. These are holy rollers. You know what I mean? You wear skirts and talking tongues and that sort of thing. And I said, why would you threaten to kill my little baby sister? Which led me to believe my CCW, not led me to believe, lead me to my CCW is expired. I don't have a gun. And I feel helpless, you know, and I'm not a big guy like Damon Lynch or some big brother from Central State. I'm not big, you know what I mean? So they can toss me around all they want to, and these folks are big, you know what I'm saying? And this is why this is important, not because you're trying to arm people or whatever like that. And what really discourages me is when I was on Facebook and the people who looked like me were so upset. I'm saying, well, you know, I'm just not go there. But my brothers and sisters who are white liberals live in Indian Hill, and those places where they have never been threatened. They don't even understand the concept of threat because they don't have to come to these communities or whatever like that. You know, and I'm not just talking about African American communities. I'm talking about Price Hill, where I get my haircut. You know what I mean? And because it's poor Appalachian communities too, poor white folks, poor Hispanic folks, whatever like that.
River rats.
I didn't say he did, but. And absolutely, and the reality is you traveling out of the state. You know, my previously married, I didn't have a TV in college, but so I had no better up to do but get married and have children. But pray for me, through me yet. That was my sin of choice. I mean, I'll just be honest with you, in church, fornication was my sin of choice. Daniel Lynch, my sin of choice too. He just didn't have kids, but. Just being honest, but God help me. Still working on it. I've been married for 8 years now, so can I get amen for that? So I'm living right now, so you know, thank God, amen. But the reality is you're traveling up to Chicago, or you're traveling to these places or whatever, you don't know your way around and that sort of thing. How do you protect yourself? You know, so I just wanted to say that to give you purpose and set intention and that sort of thing as a hopefully your new city council member November 7th, and say this is a passion for me. This is something that I want to take to Congress. I don't like when people demonize, you know, minority communities, which includes poor whites, poor blacks, poor Hispanics, for wanting to legally protect themselves. So thank you all for coming. It's going to be a long day. I think they're going to have concessions and that sort of thing. You kind of need to leave if you kind of have, you know, health, medical conditions where you have to go eat or work like that. I'm pretty sure that's okay with the state, with state laws and that sort of thing. But it's going to be a long time. And I'm happy to share this with you. Thank you for helping. Thank you for being a part of history. We're all a part of history today. Thank you for being a part of history. And by the way, I think some people are going to trickle in at 10 o'clock because there was a lot of miscommunication. Somebody put 10 on the Eventbrite. It said 7 for pre-registration. It said 9 and that sort of thing. So don't be alarmed if people start trickling in. Thank you so much.
Having your concealed carry permit also drastically changes your relationship with the police. Now, what we're talking about here today is too serious to worry about things like political correctness. We need to keep it 100 and keep it real. Is there profiling in Cincinnati? Yes. Yes, there is. Is it right? No. But does it exist? Yes. And we're foolish if we say it doesn't. What we have found over the years from feedback of our students, having that concealed carry permit takes the officer from, hey, you, to more of a, excuse me, sir, or ma'am. Now, is that right? No, but that's the reality. It is amazing the difference in perception the moment they hear, oh, no, I've got my concealed carry permit. Because what that instantly tells a cop is you're not a felon. It's sort of a moment from a law enforcement standpoint. Again, just something to think about. As a matter of fact, the most recent incident where we actually had to draw our weapons in public, it was a cop asked us to back him up. I mean, the weird thing is with concealed carry permit, you wind up being the backup for that thin blue line.
you're an armed citizen. Keep in mind, less than 10% of the population have their concealed carry permit. That kind of puts you in the elite, doesn't it, once you get it? Less than 10% have their concealed carry. So, again, and this is actually very timely. One of the other people that were nice enough to help us here today, we call him Sarge, you can call him Tommy. He has been in law enforcement for about 20 years here in Cincinnati. And I'd like you to get his perspective as well, because what we want to try to do is give you as many different perspectives as possible to give you the best overall picture. You mind coming up? I know, I'm making you work.
Yeah, I like that.
Everybody, this is Sarge or Tommy.
Like Doug said, I've known him for years. I've been in law enforcement actually 19 years. This is my 20th year. I've been certified with the firearm for 17 of those 19 years. One of the things I'll tell you as a law enforcement officer is to remind you, with this concealed carry permit, it does not make you deputized automatically. You should look at your CCW as a way to get out of trouble, not a reason to stand your ground or get yourself into trouble. Like you said, this is a lifestyle change. And as you said, from a law enforcement standpoint, when we find out that you have a valid CCW, yeah, it's a load off our minds. We don't have to worry about you. You have done everything that has been asked of you to ensure that you can maintain this right to carry a weapon. But this also has to do with responsibilities. As Doug said, you have to grow up. That's the thing that ends up young law enforcement officers as well. They get in there and let their egos get in the way, let trigger words, and you got to look at the news. It's not good on either side. We have people that believe all police officers, all they want to do is shoot minorities. We have minorities who think that we're the enemy. Police means to clean up. What our job is actually to come and fix the problem. We're not necessarily going in there and trying to start the trouble of the problem.
Nor can you prevent it.
Yeah, we can't prevent it. But you need to be smart. Just because you got a gun does not make you bulletproof any more than a cop having a badge makes him bulletproof. Doesn't necessarily make you right if you lose your temper. So, and I'm also one of the few in law enforcement that believes that constitutional carry is a very good idea. It's a right. Granted, states can regulate it, but I don't see a problem with anybody who goes through the proper training carrying a firearm.
Right.
So again,
And
we'll
you
do what we can
actually-
to help you guys out and get you where you need to be so you can be smarter out there.
Thank you. No, and I'd like to again, everybody that's here today is volunteer, and I always like whenever I can get law enforcement in a class because it makes sure that what we're telling you is correct too. It's just another good way to get a second, even tertiary opinion.
Let me ask you a question, because when we're kind of severing people up. How many of you have shot before? How many of you have your own guns? That, like when I went through my concealed carry class, I know I can shoot. My qualifying was simply a formality. How many of you are in that category? That you know you can shoot pretty well? All right. If you would, I'm going to have you meet right down there with Kevin. We're going to go ahead and get the great stuff for you guys started. Yeah, move back. I kind of got to see you left. The people that qualifying is just a formality. You've shot before. You know how to shoot. You just need to go put some rounds on a plate and we're good. All right. Let's do this. We're going to kind of divide this group then into half again. I'd like half of you to come up front and you're going to start all right, let me say, of the people that's still here, limited shooting experience, any shooting experience. Perfect. Give me limited people over there, everybody else over here. You might start walking them through the handgun fundamental basics. Does anybody happen to know where Felicity, Ohio is? It's out east. There are two families out there that hate each other, some Hatfield and McCoy type shit. One of them have members on the police force. That's exactly what they did to a guy from the other family. They put him through the traffic stop. When they went to hand him his gun back, the moment he touched it, bam, one of them smacked it out of his hands, the other put the bracelets on him. Is that entrapment?
Yes.
Does it matter?
No.
Because it's on the dash cam, he touched that gun. So, as sort of a outline when dealing with traffic stops, first of all, try to stay calm. And I know that's easy to say when you're not being yelled at and bullhorned and everything else, but take some breath, try to stay calm. Use your words. Comply, don't die. And whatever you do, don't touch that gun.
Especially when you're, let's say for instance, going to Newport on 11. It's a public place. Usually a lot of people are out there hanging out, just doing them, keeping the movie. Going to the movies, restaurants, something like that. You're in condition white, especially you're by yourself on your cell phone, not listening to music, or even if you're hanging out with your friends, sisters, brother, y'all talking, not even paying attention to your surroundings, and you turn a corner, because that's a blind spot. You can't see what's around that corner. But when you come around that corner, they push you, punch her, and take her purse.
But the only thing that you're looking at is this is so.
Now you have a situation. The easiest way to avoid, especially like those type of blind spots, especially while you're walking or you're out and about, take a wide turn around corner. You want to always give yourself some type of space, just in case danger, a threat, or anything like that is behind them. None of us have that extra, what is it called, third eye, something like that, to be able to see, a couple minutes in front of you and stuff like that. That's more movie stuff, so can't none of us do that. You gotta think ahead a little bit, because out and about, even if we had a purpose, we're going out to hang out, or we're going to go handle business or something like that, it's really easy to just slip into that condition white. With that being said, I got a question. If you are carrying your firearm, got your CCW, what condition should you be in? You got, I'm going to give you the 4 different ones, and then I'll explain. You have condition white, which we talked about. There's a condition yellow, which is aware. You have condition orange, which is now you have identified correctly. Red, immediate action. So if you're carrying a firearm, which condition would be best to be in? Yellow. That's absolutely correct. Anytime you're carrying your firearm, you want to always be in condition yellow. Now, me and my brother played around a little bit, and I came up with the idea, we can't live offensively. That means going out of your house, stay right there. You move way too fast. Calm down. Just trying to get to my car. We can't walk around like that. So what I came up with, I don't want to be in condition white. I don't want to go around pointing the gun at people, eyeball or something I'm supposed to be paying attention to. I want to be in condition beige. Or my homie came up with mellow yellow. I'm aware of my surroundings, but I'm calm.
That's hard.
Last group will let you guys know. One way to find out what weapon works best for you is that Point Blank has a program they call the test drive. For $5, they will let you shoot 5 rounds on the range of one of their rental guns in the kind of gun you're looking for. So say you're looking at a 9mm shield, let's say I want to do a test drive. And they will put you out on the range for a minute, advise you, let you fire 5 shots in one of these, and see how you like it. That's the best way to find out what really level was. Or rent the range time for half an hour and rent the gun and you can trade guns out. You don't have to say rent the gun.
What do you recommend for like a woman that's scared? Like, I don't know anything about guns. I didn't know what to ask for.
Let them know that you're interested in something in concealed carry, and I would not go with anything less than a 380 caliber. 9mm are very common. They don't have much hit. 22s are okay. 22s, even with the hollow point magazines, they just piss somebody off instead of actually hitting the threat.
They might not want to kill them, might want to kill away.
That is true. We don't want to kill them.
Right.
Nobody wants to kill anybody, even when they pull the gun. That's the whole theory is you don't want, you're trying to stop the threat. If they go away and you don't have to shoot, the threat is over. You don't need to shoot them. If you shoot at them and miss, and they stop what they're doing, the threat is gone. You stop shooting. If you shoot them and they stop, are you going to shoot them again? No, because you shot them once the threat is over. As soon as the threat is over, you stop, period. And then if they are hurt, you get them help. Only a sociopath or psychopath wants to kill someone. There's something not right about you if you want to kill another human being. And you don't belong with a gun if you're like, it's not my part to judge.
Bruce Lee's
Did you hear me? I said, look, you should not before I take the order. Don't, look, I will allow your shopping for you. I will allow your shopping for you.
I'm not expecting you to do that. I'm just saying that
yeah, but when she
clean your gun. I make a habit of at least checking, if not cleaning, every gun in my house once a month. I clean it every time I shoot it, because the fouling of the powder will jam it up. And if you have too much oil in it, the powder burns will then gum up the insides. The reason I check them every month, I don't necessarily clean them. I check them and see if they got a lot of dust or if there's other stuff in them or too wet. And I'll clean them just to inspect the entire gun. But you at least want to check it once a month, just to make sure it's not rusting, it's not got any crap that got spilled on it, or dust from your floor or something. Dirt and moisture are the two worst enemies of firearms. You're checking it to make sure that there's nothing that will stop it from working. Like I said, I check mine every month. You may get if you take it to the range, clean it
That probably does not do
after
anything.
you're done.
She did a job for him.
It's a rental, yeah, you're on back.
Step over you. No, I got my Glock on me. Bam! Shoots herself in the thigh. Well, they ain't got to do anything but collect this money. Thank you. I'm done for the day. Appreciate it. Thanks for helping out. Teamwork. Oh. The way we have broken down, always just keep your finger on the frame of the gun. And everybody see where my finger is. I keep my finger there because it only takes me a fraction of a second to move my finger right back down to that thing. Muscle memory. Rule number 3. With a rifle, you're going to definitely have to pull the trigger. Me and my brother both own revolvers. I can cock the hammer back on mine. I can jump from here to the back of the church. Go off. I can take my semi-auto. I can charge it, and I can chuck it from here all the way across the street. It's not gonna go off. You have to squeeze the trigger.
I have 2 guns, one for each of you.